1-2. On the ground up the middle, Jimenez, glove, steps on second one, throw to first for an inning-ending double play, and with one pitch, Max Scherzer gets out of the jam. No runs, no hits, one left, no score after an inning, but now he's into the wind in his 0-1. Naylor launches, center field in deep. Varsho looking up at the fence on the warning track. He leaps. Did he get it? No, it is gone. Home run for the Canadian Josh Naylor. An elevated change lifted out to straightaway center of the Mariners. Strike first, they lead 1-0. First base is open, but you'd imagine Castillo wants to come after Jimenez with Springer on deck. Payoff pitch. Swing and a deep drive right field. Turning backhand zone. Turns at the wall. It's gone! Andres Jimenez for a second straight night. Launches a 2-run homer. And the Blue Jays lead 2-1 in the top of the third.
What a swing from Andres Jimenez. Again, he works the count. Fights off some tough pitches. He gets that fastball at 95 over the heart of the plate. And again, I think he's trying to move the runner. He's trying to hit the ball to the right side of the infield. But when you get a pitch like that over the heart of the plate, why try to do that when you can barrel it up and get it out of here?
Nowhere to put him. Bases loaded in the 3-2. Down and away ball four. A bases loaded walk to bring in a run. Lucas in to score on the RBI from Varsho. Kirk at second and Guerrero at third. 3-1 Blue Jays in the top of the third inning.
How about that patience from Dalton Varsho? Really tough left-on-left matchup, and he takes two tough pitches there. One that was a hair off the plate, and that fastball down below that strike zone. What an at-bat from him. What an at-bat from Alejandro Kirk. And again, there's another important run standing at third base with still just one out.
Big dumper waddles back and forth waiting on Scherzer. Step off throw to first. And a safe call. Vladdy points back to the dugout. That was close. And we'll see if the Blue Jays want to take a look here. It's a quick move.
That was really close. John Schneider is thinking about it right now. And they will review this play.
You get two challenges so you can be a little more aggressive in the postseason. Oh, I think he got him. We're looking at it. It's close. The call on the field is safe, which is important. They need to be 100% sure. It's going to be bang, bang on this one. It might not be enough, but my hunch looking at the replays, he got him. What do you think, Chris?
Well, to the naked eye, I initially thought they got him, and we're seeing a really slow angle right now. Actually, a pretty good angle, and I think this call will be reversed. I mean, it might be too close. The evidence might not be strong enough, but we're seeing the replay now. I think that they're going to change this call.
One important thing, Rivas dove in with his exposed hand rather than his sliding mitten hand, and you kind of have to put your fingers up or you'll break a finger on the bag a lot of the time if you don't. His fingers were over the bag, but it appears not touching the bag at the time Vlad tagged him. And you haven't heard a big roar from the fans in Seattle, so you know what they think. They don't seem too confident in this one.
Yeah, I think they're going to change this call. We're just seeing the play on the big board out there in center field. I think the evidence is pretty good.
Right now, it's runner on first, one out with Raleigh up. If it's overturned, it's 2 outs, bases empty. And when you're talking about going after Cal Raleigh, that's a huge difference.
Especially when there's already one strike on him.
And they have overturned the call, announces Alfonso Marquez. Leo Rivas is picked off, and Max Scherzer throws an emphatic warm-up pitch home. What a move by him. Good tag by Vladdy, too, to wipe the bases clean. There are 2 outs. You feel for him, but for Leo Rivas, you cannot get picked off in that spot. 2 outs, and the 1-2 pitch. Did he go on the back foot breaker? Appeal to third. He did. Scherzer punches out Raleigh to make it a scoreless bottom of the third. No runs, no hits, none left. 3-1 Blue Jays as we go to the fourth. 1-0. And Springer shoots it down the left field line. Fair ball bouncing onto the warning track. IKF around third. He'll score. Springer jogs into second with an RBI double. It's 4-1 Blue Jays in the top of the fourth. 1-0 pitch. Bounced, and it's through the legs of Raleigh to the backstop. Springer's going to jog home and score. Second night in a row that a wild pitch catches in a Blue Jay run. It's 5-1 Blue Jays in the top of the fourth.
That was a weird one. Again, Cal Raleigh normally gets in front of those balls and blocks everything. He normally catches everything, but for whatever reason, he was in between. Wasn't sure what to do with that pitch. It looked like he wanted to pick it. He looked like he, at the last second, tried to block it. and didn't get down in time, and that ball scooched through the legs of Cal Raleigh for the 5th run of the ball game.
One thing you know about Scherzer, though, the nerves are not going to be a problem for a guy like him. His 26th start in the playoffs, 31st appearance. His first playoff appearance came back in 2011 with the Detroit Tigers. Now pitching here in the CS in 2025. His 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Towering curveball broke outside. Rodriguez cuts and misses. Back-to-back Ks, 1 out. 5-1 Blue Jays, 2 outs, bottom 4. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on a curve. Pitch was in the dirt. Kirk applies the tag, and it's 2 strikeouts for Scherzer in a scoreless bottom of the 4th. He's pitched around some walks. He gave up a leadoff single this inning. Canzone remains on first with 2 outs. Scherzer kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Ball in the dirt, blocked by Kirk. Arozarena not running. Kirk keeping an eye on him, and the out signal made by Alfonso Marquez as Arozarena gives himself up. 5 innings of 1-run ball. Vintage Max Scherzer in Seattle sends us to the 6th inning. Rodriguez stretches his arms for a moment. Half swing. The J-Rod squad is out in right center field. The no-fly zone for Julio Rodriguez's great ability to rob homers. At the plate right now is Rodriguez. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 5 Ks for Scherzer and 2 outs in this bottom of the 6th. He is shredding the Mariners lineup right now. Max Scherzer's night is done, but not before 5 2/3 sparkling innings from the future Hall of Famer. The Blue Jays fans to their feet clapping, and the boos from Seattle a sign of respect on how he pitched tonight. Scherzer leaves for now with 1 run on his line and trying to get the left-handed hitter Naylor, Mason Fluharty. The kick in the 0-1. Hit off the handle, a soft liner down in right field. Getting the wave around third, Polanco. Barger throws to third, and they get Naylor. Run will come in to score. Naylor slid into the ankles of Ernie Clement, his former teammate, but he applied the tag. So a run in for Seattle, but the inning comes to a close. 5-2 is the Blue Jay lead after a run on 1 hit for the Mariners. We head to the 7th in Game 4 of the American League Championship Series. 1-1 pitch is hit high in the air, right field. Tracking back Canzone at the warning track. Leaps at the fence. It is gone. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with his 5th home run of the postseason. And the Blue Jays strike back to take a 6-2 lead in the 7th.
That pitch was on the black on the outside part of the plate at 96 miles an hour. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. showing off the opposite field power, getting the barrel to that tough pitch, and just sneaking it out here above that glove of Dominic Canzone out in right field. What a swing from him, and what an important run for the Toronto Blue Jays.
No Blue Jay has ever hit more home runs in a playoff run than Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who passes Jose Bautista with his 5th. Rivas is the 9-hitter. You want to get him here to finish off the inning. Arozarena on deck. 1-1 pitches, smoked out to right field. Barger on the run toward the track, dives, and he got it! Addison Barger with a beautiful play in right field to take away extra bases and end the bottom of the 7th. Slamming down onto the grass in a ballpark that he was born not too far from. Barger showing off the leather in his home state to send us to the 8th with the Blue Jays up 6-2. 6-2 Blue Jay lead. Hancock sets with 2 in scoring position, 1 out. 1-0. Lined up the middle, off the glove of Hancock, and dribbling through into center. In to score Clement. The wave being given to Jimenez. Here's the throw from Rodriguez. It bounces in offline, and that's a 2-run single for Andres Jimenez. Clement and Straw score, and the Blue Jays have an 8-2 lead in the 8th inning. The right-handed closer rocks and deals. Called strike 3, 95 on the outside edge, a comeback sinker to freeze Arozarena, 1 out.
Well, clearly Randy Arozarena was thinking something else other than that fastball. What a pitch from Jeff Hoffman. Fell behind in the count, fought back, and dotted that fastball at 95.
Max Scherzer went 5 2/3 tonight, finished with 2 earned runs on 4 hits, 4 walks, and 5 Ks. Fluharty and Varland have bridged to Hoffman here for the 8th. 2-2 pitch. Call Called strike three. 96 on the edge. 2 punch-outs and a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 8th for Jeff Hoffman. So a runner on second after the wild pitch. 2 outs in a full count. Bottom of the 9th inning. 8-2 Blue Jay lead. Set from Dominguez. The payoff pitch. Called strike three. The Blue Jays have tied up this series at 2. They are not dead yet. An 8-2 win in Game 4 in Seattle.
Everyone, I'm pregnant. You can see 10 fingers, 10 toes.
Oh, that onesie will look so cute.
Pregnancy changes your perspective and priorities. There is no safe amount of alcohol during pregnancy. Visit dry9.ca.
Your business is building this country. Co-op's business is fueling your growth. With the largest energy network in Western Canada, we support industrial operations in construction, mining, forestry, infrastructure, and more. And we're ready for the heaviest demands in the busiest seasons. You can rely on us to understand your needs and meet the toughest timelines. We deliver certainty. Together, we're driving Western Canada forward. Contact your Co-op fuel team to get started.
All right. Kevin Barker, did somebody say short series a couple of days ago?
I think somebody did.
Trying to remember if anybody did. Well, it ain't going to be a short series anymore. 8-2, the Blue Jays have beaten the Seattle Mariners tonight. The series is tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 goes tomorrow, and of course, tonight's win by the Blue Jays guarantees that there will be a 6th game, which will be back in Toronto on Sunday. It is a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk, a postseason winning edition of Blue Jays Talk. The number to call, 416-870-0590, star 590 on your cell, 1-888-666-0590. The text line is always open. 590-590 is the number of the text line. Name and location, please. So Kevin Barker, if I told you, 3 months ago that the Blue Jays would go down 2-0 and that they would end up tying the series 2-2 and that it would be their shortstop who homered in back-to-back games and in the 4th game became the 6th player in baseball history with a home run, 4 RBIs, and multiple hits from the number 9 spot. You'd probably be saying, why the hell is Bo Bichette hitting in the number 9 spot in John Schneider's lineup? Obviously, a lot to talk about. Max Scherzer was tremendous. Max Scherzer was dramatic. Max Scherzer was theater and all that. But I want to start just by talking about the bottom of the order. IKF and Andres Jimenez. IKF getting the start after Anthony Santander was, not put in the IL, but the Jays convinced Major League Baseball to allow them to make an injury substitution. Joey Loperfido added to the roster. Anthony Santander taken off. But John Schneider, in putting the lineup together, probably could have gone with Davis Schneider and went with IKF instead. 2 runs scored for IKF. And as we mentioned, Andres Jimenez got it started, and he was in the middle of everything.
Yeah, look, the bottom of the order has basically been doing it all season. Well, at least since they've been in first place. You mentioned IKF. This is the best managerial job in my mind that John's done in the playoffs. Just sort of
without question.
Yeah, absolutely. The magnification of this game, who was throwing in the game, how long it's been since he's thrown. Just that little move of putting IKF in there instead of Davis Schneider. It's just the little things, right, that can sort of pay off for you. Jimenez, you mentioned it, right? He was calibrating the slider. He got a couple of good hacks at it before he hit the homer. The one that he hit was just a little middle down, and because he's trying to do the team thing by getting the dude over, You catch it a little out front. You have good extension. You create some backspin. You're rewarded because you're doing a good thing and you're a good teammate. So, yeah, I just think that's sort of the 2025 Blue Jays is just it's sort of that passing the baton of bottom of the lineup because the manager puts you in the lineup. You do your thing. Guys trying to get you over is rewarded with some success because he's having good swings throughout the entire at bat. So, yeah, and then the big boys come up and do the big boy things. You know, obviously Springer with the RBI. And let me – this is what's hard about the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. home run. It's almost impossible to have a two-handed finish and a one-handed finish. Depending on where the pitch is at and how you're trying to stay through the baseball, most humans can't do that. They're either or. They're not both. And what he did there by – releasing the top hand to allow the shoulders to stay square and have a little bit more extension through the zone to create enough backspin to get that over the fence. I mean, the dude's living in a different world than everybody else. And that's pretty cool to watch. And that's the separator, right? That's what John had been telling us for a while is if you get that dude going with what everybody else is doing, you'd be cooking with gravy. And he was right. I mean, this is something else to watch. And I said this today on our show. Whoever wins this game is going to win the series. I'm sticking with it. Jays are winning this sucker now.
Yeah, listen, they've got Bryce Miller going against them tomorrow. They've already seen him once. Now, he was very good in that game. He surprised a lot of people with his velo. I've got to think there'll be a few less surprises this time around. And, Kevin, unlike that game, the Jays haven't had a couple of days off. They've been locked in for 2 days. I mean, you look at this lineup tonight. It's 7 different guys score a run. I mean, up and down this lineup. And they did it, you know, not just with home runs, singles, doubles, wild pitch. I don't know what's happened to the Mariners mentally, Kevin. The moment may be getting too big for them. Wild pitches. Yeah. Okay. How the hell do you get picked off on first base with Cal Raleigh at the plate?
That's a fair point. You know, again, I think
Josh Naylor running into an out at third.
Yeah, I think this has more to do with the Jays lineup. Tonight, if you notice, they were hitting the slider a little bit more. You know, we were talking to Buck Martinez, or at least I asked the question about what would be the adjustment if you're catching after you see the Jays going up looking for the heater, getting the heater and doing some slug on it. Well, he said you'd have to mix it up, be a little more unpredictable, but you'd think you'd try and get them out with spin. Sure looked to me like they were looking for spin. I mean, if you just look at all the big hits, right, the IKF slider down the middle, the Jimenez, you know, saw the couple of sliders before he hit the third one he saw for the homer. The Varsha walk was huge. Like the Springer RBI double was a slider down the middle. Like, you know, the things they were doing because they made the adjustment on what they did yesterday to today. I mean, listen, every time John talks about his lineup, basically saying that, you know, they do it one day, they sort of erase that, wad it up, throw it in the garbage, come back tomorrow, and their team looks totally different with what they're trying to do because of the adjustments they make. Jeff, I mean, he's right. Like just the way they attacked it, the way they looked to me like they were thinking big part of the field up the middle the other way because they thought they were going to get secondary pitches, something spinning. I mean, right now, man alive, if I'm pitching, it's not going to be an easy get.
Let's talk about, I mean, obviously Max Scherzer, the guy gets the start tonight. Again, I will admit, the first inning gets off the bit of a rocky start, gets a double play to get out of it. Naylor hits a home run and a changeup. You know, to me, again, Rivas getting picked off first with Cal Raleigh at the plate is inexcusable. But looking at Max's outing, you know, that, what was it, the fifth inning where he gives up a leadoff single, goes 3-1 to Crawford, fly ball to center field, 3-1 to Rivas, fly ball to right field, then he strikes out a Rosarina. I understand the Jays had scored some runs, but to me, that was kind of that kind of snuffed things out for the Mariners the rest of the night. Max Scherzer was, I mean, he pitched, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, the 72% strike one for me, that's the best it's been all year. He did it with multiple pitches in multiple zones. I mean, again, when you're doing that, putting the hitter on the defense allows you to make some mistakes, which he did. I mean, it wasn't a perfect night, but when he needed a pitch, he made it. That velocity on the fastball, it's the best it's been all year for me. You could tell it's just coming out hot, the extension on it. He could go to where he wanted to go when he wanted to go there to set other stuff up.
He was hitting 95 in his last inning of work.
There it is. So, you know, he looked healthy. That was a big deal. The person that I talked to today said he's had 22 days to get healthy. He got healthy. You could tell from pitch one that just everything was working in unison. Like it was coming out hot, the finish there. He could self-correct, which he hasn't been able to do all year, maybe because he's been hurt for most of the time that he's been trying to run out there. You know, the glove side slider was huge for him. It was tighter. It broke more. But the fastball for me set up all that stuff. The arm side change up to lefties was a big pitch. And occasionally he would keep you off balance with the breaking ball. Didn't throw a ton of them. He threw enough of them just to keep it in your mind that he might throw it in certain situations. Give Kirky credit again. You know me, I've been hard on Kirky for the last, week because of sequencing and just you shouldn't be getting beat the way you've been getting beat. The last couple of days, Jeff, he's been on point. Just the arm side setting things up the way he wants to get a certain hitter out. You got to do it the right way in the right sequencing. Looked to me like Max didn't shake off a ton, if ever. You know, when you're in the flow like that and you're trusting what the catcher's pushing, just makes it a little easier for you to try and execute. So, yeah, I mean, if anybody was saying he was going to give you that amount of time, I don't know if you call me crazy or not, but you might shake your head at me.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have picked that.
Me either.
I wouldn't have picked that many innings for Max
Pretty
Scherzer.
Cool, though.
It was cool. It was also great watching John jog out to the mound, too. And the drama that is Max Scherzer. He really was good value tonight, not just in terms of pitching, but also in entertainment. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-866-0590, 8-2. The Toronto Blue Jays have beaten the Seattle Mariners. Folks, this series is tied up at 2 games apiece. We will step away, do a little business, and come back, go to the phone lines and the text line. It's Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Thinking about upgrading your equipment? Finning has a deal that's built to reward you, whether you're a new or returning customer. From now until November 2nd, take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months on select CAT compact equipment. With payments starting as low as $1,458 a month, it's never been easier to own the gear you need. But hurry, these offers end November 2nd. To learn more and to book your demo today, visit your local Finning dealership or call 1-800-FINNING.
Rodriguez stretches his arms for a moment, half swing. The J-Rod squad is out in right center field. The no-fly zone for Julio Rodriguez's great ability to rob homers. At the plate right now is Rodriguez. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 5 Ks for Scherzer and 2 outs in this bottom of the 6th. He is shredding the Mariners lineup right now.
Yeah, Max Scherzer was awfully good tonight. The Toronto Blue Jays, their offense checked in again just as it did last night. 8-2, the Blue Jays beat the Mariners. This best of 7 ALCS is tied at 2 games apiece. And this is Blue Jays Talk. Brendan in Edmonton, you're on with Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker.
Good evening, gentlemen. First, I wanted to talk about the job Andres Gimenez has done, especially in these last 2 games. In my mind, if the Jays win this series, I don't really care what anybody else does for the rest of it. He's my ALCS MVP. That 2-run home run yesterday really it kind of saved the season, woke the offense up, and turned this series around. I don't like a guy who plays stellar defense, can get a sac bunt down when you need him to, can hit a big home run when you need him to, can get a base hit when you need him to drive in a couple of runs. He does everything that you want from a shortstop. I get that this team has a shortstop right now in Bo, eventually coming back, but coming into next year, if you see Andres Gimenez out there, I don't have a problem playing him every day. And second, I really love the job Pete Walker has done to make the adjustments for this pitching staff to really come up with a better game plan for attacking the Seattle Mariners hitters. The adjustments that bullpen has made, after game 2, I had no confidence in absolutely any one of them coming out there and doing any kind of a good job. And it's really flipped right now. Varland has kind of turned a bit of a corner. Hoffman looks locked in, and I love what I'm seeing out of Sir Anthony as well. Guys are just kind of falling into spots. Yesterday's game, the blowout, allowed them to set their pen up the way they wanted to today, and I think it's still looking in a pretty good spot for tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, Brandon, I appreciate the call. I mean, I will say this, and Kevin, I'm sure you agree with me. It is remarkable how much easier it is to pitch out of the bullpen when you're leading 8-2 as opposed to being down 3-1 or being ahead 3-2. I mean, it really is, and that's something we've talked about. And I'm not taking anything away from the pitchers by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a lot easier to maneuver your bullpen when you've got a 6-run lead. It just is. Again, not taking anything away from anybody, but the fact of the matter is, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, it's fair. I love the way sort of Jeff Hoffman's trying to, attack the zone a little bit more with the velocity on the heater. Like he's found a little extra gear, which helps, gives him a little bit more confidence. Right, confidence in that 9th inning was the 8th inning today. It's kind of cool. See him come out in the 8th inning, no? I mean, that's it's just sort of the kind of thing they're trying to give that part of the lineup a different look, right? Probably tomorrow would be Sir Anthony. They'd never want to fall into a pattern to let that part of the lineup see an arm for more than one time. It's genius. I mean, it's baseball 101 and it's Captain Obvious, but to actually see it play out, it's pretty cool. So yeah, to the caller's point, I think that's pretty cool, right? I mean, it does start with your guy on the mound. The starters the last couple of days have been really good. I mean, for the most part, they've been good in the entire series. But it is nice to see, the 41-year-old go out there, the Tommy John guy go out there who, quite frankly, hadn't had really good starts lately. And to do it the way they've looked, right, commanding the fastball, doing it with the secondary pitch. The spin has been a big weapon the last 2 starts, which is kind of cool. I do think that's sort of an adjustment they've made is, when in doubt, spin it and make sure you miss. When you miss, that was Max tonight, right? Did you see a ball down the middle? I mean, I guess the home run,
very few.
the home run,
the home run was, but
yeah, well, not really. That was a change up and away. That's a BP heater. But, it was a little predictable. It was up and away. I mean, that's sort of the only one time. Other than that, the sequencing's been on point. I get back to that Kirky thing. That's a big deal going into this. You asked me. That's a big deal when you just sort of know how to set it all up and don't become predictable. When that's the case, you're using both sides of the plate with different speeds and different shapes. As a former hitter, now I wasn't as good as any of these dudes, but it still would put it in your mind that now all of a sudden I got to cover quadrants. I can't cut it in half and look one spot, and that's the biggest deal. So, yeah, it's a good call. I mean, now just going forward, if you're Kevin tomorrow, right, attack the zone, do it with different speeds, do it with a little vinegar, give the lineup a chance. If you do that, you're up 3-2 going home. That's cooking with gravy, Jeff. Man alive, I'm pumped up. Boy, it's fun.
Jeremy and Kamloops, BC, you are.
Yeah, good evening, guys. You know what? I was kind of wanting to talk about what Barker just mentioned there. I loved seeing Sir Anthony come out there. I know it wasn't a save situation, but it was nice to see him come out in the 9th. It was good to see Hoffman in the 8th as well. And I know he was getting the numbers, the 96s, 97s. But, I don't know. What do you guys think of that Domingos being the closer?
Well, I mean, thanks for the call. I mean, Kevin and I talked about this. I don't think he is.
He's not.
He's not. It was just that Jeff Hoffman is going to be used against a Rosarena, Raleigh, and J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez, the top part of the order. And it just so happened tonight that part of the order rolled around in the 8th inning, and John Schneider decided, all right, I'm going to use Hoffman tonight in the 8th. Sir Anthony got the 9th inning. Kevin's right. Tomorrow, probably the other way around, because one of the things we've talked about in the postseason is you're trying to prevent hitters from seeing the same pitchers over and over and over again. Now, it's not always possible. Sometimes your hand is forced, but when you get a chance like tonight, you take advantage of it. But by no stretch of the imagination is Sir Anthony Dominguez now the closer.
Yeah, look, I think, again, they got 2 dudes down there, at least in their mind, and Sir Anthony and Hoffman. They're going to use them at their fullest, and the fullest could be, right, you want to split them up and show a different part of the lineup, a different day, a different arm, a different angle. Both of those dudes throw in different ways, right? One throws a sinker slider, the other one's four-seamer, a split and a slider. Like they're different kinds of pitchers, but the Hoffman extra gear now all of a sudden gives John a little bit more ease to run him out there mid of the order, right? I mean, for a while there, it was more I'd love to have Sir Anthony because he's throwing harder, he's locating, and that velocity's harder to catch up to. Now, because the Hoffman's got a little vinegar in him, he's throwing a little harder. It makes it a little easier for John to pick him mid of the order. You love to see it.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to say goodbye to our friends on the network. The Blue Jays winning 8-2. They have tied the best of 7 ALCS at 2 games apiece. Tomorrow's game, an earlier start, 6 o'clock. What is it, 6 o'clock or 6:33, Barker?
6:00 something.
6:00 something. I mean, it's baseball, so they'll just
there you go. Tune in
pick the
6.
odd number, add a 0 in front of it or something like that. Anyhow, so we're going to say goodbye to our friends in the network right now. If you're listening to us on Sportsnet 590, The Fan in Toronto, or listening online, hang in there. The numbers to call, 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590 is the text line. We still have half an hour of Blue Jays talk. So, thank you for listening to Blue Jays postseason baseball. Canada's team is back in the playoffs, and your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers are proud to be a part of it. For over 40 years, Crown has protected vehicles from rust, keeping them strong and ready for the road, just like a great playoff baseball team. Crown Rust Control, proud sponsor of your Toronto Blue Jays radio broadcast.
Can you walk us through that very brave first walk you made to the mound? What was
Sure, yeah. I've been waiting for that all year, for Max to yell at me on the mound. I was joking with him. I've been waiting for that moment since our Zoom call in the offseason before we signed him. Loved it. There's a little more of that in between to send him back out for the 6th, too. Talking about how we don't talk to him when he's starting. I definitely talked to him, and that was another fun conversation in the tunnels. Yeah, it was awesome. I thought he was going to kill me. It was great. He locked eyes with me, both colors as I walked out, and it's not fake. That's the thing. It's not fake. He has this Mad Max persona, but he backed it up tonight. So it was, the infielders had a good laugh too out there, and he got the job done.
Boy, did he ever. That was John Schneider, the Blue Jays manager, talking about what will go down in history. Blue Jays history is one of the more memorable mound visits, I would think. Certainly one of the most unique mound visits. It is Blue Jays Talk, Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker, 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. The text line is open, 590-590. Between the mound visit and the key to remember with John Schneider is he's always told us when he jogs out to the mound, he hasn't necessarily made his mind up. When he walks out to the mound, he's made his mind up. He jogged out to the mound to see Max. Max did lock eyes with him probably about, 3 feet after he'd stepped out of the dugout to get the Max. And Kevin, even earlier, we saw Max walk off the field after striking out Cal Raleigh, and it looked like Pete Walker wanted to shake his hand or something. He just kind of brushed past Pete and kept on going. That really was the Mad Max experience tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, sometimes I think you got to get out of a player's way, right? I mean, that's basically what Max is saying. This is our game. I mean, I'm up 4. I mean, I've been pitching pretty well. I haven't pitched in a while. I've earned the right to be out here, and I've locked it in after the first inning. After the homer I gave up, I'm locked in here. Yeah, you love that. Yeah, if I'm playing behind that dude, I'm wanting that.
Kevin,
it's nice to hear every once in a while. It's nice to hear a guy stick up for himself and say, "Leave me alone, get out of here."
Let me ask you this, because you know John better than most people. Percentage chance that John was going to take Max out of the game when he stepped out of the dugout.
I mean, you'd like to think with what you were seeing, there would be no chance, but to actually see him run out there and have somebody getting loose, I mean, there's a decent chance that if he looked at him the wrong way, John's taking him out. Like, this is must win. Like they're, you know how it is 2025. Like, they've scripted this sucker. Like, this is just the way it is. And a grown man who's 41's the first ballot Hall of Famer had to run him off, which I thought was pretty cool, and I'm sure John appreciated it, and it just made it easier for John to make the decision where he didn't have to actually take a dude out when he didn't really want to. Because I don't think anybody wanted to see Max leave the game. Did you? I didn't even know why he was running out there. That's just me personally.
Well, as I said, what John has said, when he runs out, he hasn't made up his mind.
Again.
And I don't know if it was I don't know if it was to get to. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to give Max a breather. You didn't want to break up his tempo. I don't know. I mean, we'll eventually get a chance to maybe go into it a little deeper with John. But it was certainly Ernie Clement's reaction was hilarious. I mean, he's practically busting a gut, laughing as he went back to the shortstop.
Because you got to be a first ballot Hall of Famer to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody else on that team's doing that.
Matt in St. Thomas, Ontario, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Thanks so much, guys. Love listening to you guys every day, and so happy that Blue Jays have tied it up.
Nice.
Man, great to see Bad back to his original self there. Obviously at 41, maybe not quite the velocity, but he had a great game, and that was awesome to see. But the bat's coming alive is what makes us all really excited that we really got a chance to be in the World Series. We really do. These bats are coming alive. Vladdy's turning out to be the guy we've always wanted to see. It's a very exciting time to be a Blue Jays fan. So happy to be a part of it. Love listening to you guys. Let's go Jays, baby.
Awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate the call. Listen, boy, I keep referring to this, but I mean, I wrote it on sportsnet.ca, and I said at the start of the postseason, this is when Vladdy's contract begins, and I really believe that. This is up to now. Vladdy's laid the foundation. Now this is where his career really takes off. His batting average, by the way, postseason batting average, as of this moment, is .455. It's the highest postseason batting average in Blue Jays history, minimum 30 at bats. Right behind him, though, is Ernie Clement at .452. Ernie Clement, another guy who's just having a heck of a series. And Kevin, I got to tell you, I after the first two games of this series, I didn't see this offensive outburst. I just didn't see it happening without Bo in the lineup. I really didn't. I'm surprised a bit by what Max did tonight. I'm surprised a bit by what Shane Bieber did last night. But it's the way this offense has kicked into gear in these games in Seattle that I think has really surprised me, because I honestly thought in Toronto we started to see the signs that some of the pixie dust was wearing off, and that not having Bo in the lineup was catching up to them. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, it's the homers. I think that's, for me, is the surprising part of it. It's not moving the ball forward. It's moving the ball with so much authority forward. That I think is a little bit of a surprising part of it because of how good the pitching staff is for the Mariners. I just like the adjustments. Again, every once in a while you need to get kicked in the mouth. Every once in a while you need to go on the road. I really do think leaving the Rogers Center, I mean, no offense to the Rogers Center or the fans, I just think it's a lot of pressure. We need to get the crowd in it. We need to get the crowd fired up. Well, you got to do something to get that done. Remember, we were taking calls about
sometimes.
Yeah, it was dead ass in there. I think the caller said, right, something about the crowd. That if you're playing and trying to get the crowd into it's not the easiest thing to do. And then you go on the road and it's free and easy. You're just thinking about getting a good pitch to hit that you can drive to the big part of the field, pass the baton that way. And I think for me anyway, that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, sometimes I think it's easier to quieten down a crowd than it is to get a crowd going.
Absolutely.
And
not saying the Rogers Center's not great by no means.
I know what you mean. No,
I'm just saying it's a lot of pressure is all.
Yeah. I absolutely. And whereas you go on the road, and you're right. I mean, the Jays' task was pretty straightforward going into Seattle. You were down 0-2. You had to win.
No question.
I mean, you just had to win. You had to win Game 3. Then you had to win Game 4.
Yeah.
And, you'd like to win tomorrow, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to win tomorrow. You're going back home. So,
yeah, your manager's saying haymakers and uppercuts. And, I mean, it's just, it's like it's just a cool way to sort of say enough of this. Like, we're a good team. We're a good lineup. We do what we're supposed to do. We'll start throwing haymakers. And
all right. Speaking of haymakers, that is about the only thing Max Scherzer didn't throw at anybody tonight. He may have wanted to when John Schneider came out in the mound, but yeah, he managed to check it. This was Max Scherzer talking about the mound visit with John Schneider.
It was a big moment in the game right there. I mean, it was just a situation I was going through it in my head. I understood where the game state was. knew how I wanted to attack, and then all of a sudden I saw Schneid's coming out, and I kind of went, whoa. Like, I'm not coming out of this ball game. Like, I feel too good. And so we had a little conversation that basically I wanted to stay in the ball game, but just with some other words involved. But, I just knew I was strong. I knew I wanted the ball. I knew I'd get out of the situation, and I just wanted to stay in. I wanted it.
Right next to Keegan, Mike. How did it feel, Max, to back that up immediately, to fight to stay in the game and then strike the next hitter out?
Oh, it's great. It's what you play the game for. You're in the biggest moment of the season right now. These games are must win, every single one of them. And when you get success, it's great. I mean, this is what you play for. You work so hard the whole year, make all the sacrifices, put on all the work in to get to this moment, to have these type of moments, to be able to win in the postseason. So it's just a great effort by our team all the way around. Our offense, our defense, our relievers, everybody contributes tonight, and that's what makes it special.
Max, especially in kind of 2025. Maybe not every manager would have let you kind of fight back in that situation, stay in the game. What is it about the relationship you have with Schneid's and him as a manager that you think allowed him or let him allow you to stay in that game?
I think he wasn't planning on. I think when I'm gathering from the bullpen and everything, that he wasn't actually planning on taking me out. He just wanted to check on me. So I don't think I actually fought to stay in. I think it was kind of a mind game to kind of get me going. So who knows?
Did it work?
Well, we got the result, so.
There you go, Max Scherzer. The full Max Scherzer experience on and off the field tonight for the Blue Jays in their 8-2 win. Aiden in Toronto. That was the complete Max Scherzer experience, barking at the manager, shoving his pitching coach, muttering and cussing on the mound all night as he mows down hitters. Top 3 favorite Blue Jays memory for me. Nice. Absolutely legendary stuff. Kevin from Barrie. And Kevin, shout out to you for noticing this. I wanted to ask you about this because Buck and Dan both talked about it. He said, my play of the game for tonight was Vladdy letting Max know he was tipping. The Mariners were threatening, and as soon as Max made the adjustment, it was lights out. Both Dan and Buck did mention that. The cameras caught Vladdy yelling at Max that he was... Yeah, I guess the way he was holding his glove, right? Something that
put it in front of your face a little more.
Yeah, that seemed to be. Now, that's something I think it was Ty France that noticed a couple of starts ago, right, against the Yankees.
Yeah, the pterodactyl.
Yes, that's right, and it was Ty France who did that. Yeah. So, shout out to Vladdy, and, whether or not that correction was entirely the reason for what Max Scherzer did. Again, through 2 games, not only has this team out-hit the Mariners, not only have they outpitched the Mariners, Kevin, they've outsmarted them. And what I mean by that is they have played better baseball. Addison Barger's brain cramp tonight aside, the Mariners have made some just really dumb and what I take to be uncharacteristic plays. And they have 5 wild pitches in 2 games in Seattle, 4 wild pitches in 2 games in Seattle. They've just made a lot of mistakes. They almost look to me like the moment's too big for them. I really believe that.
Okay, I need to push back a little bit about the what did you say, brain fart for Madison Barger? That's a very tough read.
Okay.
That ball that's sort of that swing and bunt in front of the in front of home plate where it's rolling towards the pitcher. You can't see the ball because the pitcher's in the way. Depth perception is just not there. It's a very tough play. Listen to us. Where are you going? You're in scoring position already. Like
even when the guy that dropped the bunt is telling you to go to third base.
But once you get flat-footed and you stop momentum towards where you want to end up, it's almost impossible to start again and get there.
Yeah, that's
fair. And then it's chaos. You get thrown out at third, and everybody's yelling and screaming why you went because you're already in scoring position. I've been there. That's a very tough read. It's almost impossible to see. So I got to push back. The way he played defense in right field too, throwing out Naylor. There's a couple of diving plays, right? The one to end the inning, and that one that was with a runner on that he ran down in right center. That's a big time play. The Scherzer pickoff play at first. I don't know how that guy's going to play ever again. As long as the Mariners are in the playoffs, I don't know how you get picked off down 2 with Cal Raleigh up. Like, expect to play the next day or the day after that or the day after that or the day after that. I just don't get it. So hopefully it doesn't work out that way. Yeah, I'm with you. It is amazing how when your best players are being your best players, how good you can look. And I think that's exactly what happened. They've gotten really good starting pitching, and their best offensive players are stepping up.
Yeah. Absolutely. And boy, I lost what I wanted to ask you about with Addison Barger as well. You've talked about this. I think that's the first game in a couple of weeks that he's been in right field, right?
Yeah,
about a month.
Yeah.
And you've talked about it. It's not an easy thing to do, to move from third base to right field all the time the way he's doing it.
Hazel did a hit on that in game there and said about Addison told her it was about reading the ball off the bat. It's absolutely, and you're moving opposite sides of the field. Like, and they got some big time left-handed hitters in there who could pull the ball right at you. It's not the easiest routes to run, getting good jumps and reading the ball off the bat is that line drive sort of right at you. That's why that play that he ran down in right center early in the game with traffic is a big deal. Just tells you sort of where everybody's at, how prepared they are. They'll do anything for the team. And he looked like he belonged out there, which is a big deal. Big game like that on the road. He looked like he is playing right field every single day, which just give everybody credit again. It's just everybody played a part in it, right? John, this is his best job today. We actually saw Snides. First time. Welcome to the playoffs, Snides. It's kind of fun.
I mean, I think we saw him a couple of times again in the Yankees series. I think you're being I think you're being unfair. He managed
3 or 4 games.
He managed he managed that Yankee series.
Yeah, the Yankees.
He managed that Yankee series pretty well.
Absolutely.
Pat in East York, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Guys, I have to celebrate that last night I predicted he would do 6 innings, 2 runs. We got 5 2/3, 2 runs. Pretty good, right?
Well, 5 2/3 isn't 6.
But it's pretty good.
Oh, it's not 6.
It's pretty good.
It's not bad.
Max was on fire tonight. It's so great. Again, I said to your producers before I hopped on, I said, I want to bask in Max. It was so great to see one of baseball's greatest pitchers, one of baseball's greatest ever athletes, just give it all he's got for one, perhaps one last time.
Yep. No, listen. It's a hell of a point and a hell of a call. Again, we don't know what's going to happen.
No.
But if that is Max Scherzer's last start,
nobody's going to forget it.
No, they are not. They are not. No. I mean, he may not. The Jays may, they may go on to win the series. We may see Max again. Well, if they win the series, we will see Max again, I would imagine. Absolutely. But bottom line is, 41-year-old Hall of Famer. He if that is the last act for whatever reason, that's a hell of a way to bring the curtain down to your career. I mean, It really is. You've become part of a team's lore. Think about that. People are going to be talking about that Max start. Blue Jays fans are going to be talking about it for years to come, just because of the drama behind it.
Pretty cool stuff.
It is, and there's a guy who has only been with the team for less than a year. Josh in Shelburne, Saskatchewan. You're on Blue Jays Talk.
Shelburne, Saskatchewan, actually, but I have a couple comments before my question. Comment number one, I kind of got a feeling John knew exactly what he was doing when he went out to go get or go have that conversation with Max just after that conversation or after what he was saying in the post game interview. But comment number two, if you would have told me that we would have had game or the series would have been tied 2-2 going into after 4 games after winning games 3 and 4, I think we'd all be taking that with basically down to a 3-game series here now. Yep. So maybe even twice on Sunday too. Yep. But my question for you is, I know I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, but I want to look towards kind of game 6 here. I know the Jays are playing it 1 inning at a time, 1 game at a time, but I want to look at us khakis and look at game 6 here. Kind of, I think I want to go with Bassett game 6, considering don't want to take anything away from you, Savage, on what he's done here for us. He's been exponential, but I think Bassett should be seriously considered for the start in game 6 with his home record. Not only that, but he's got that postseason kind of record as well. So I just wanted to kind of see what you guys thoughts and maybe they're going to see what happens after Game 5. But what do you guys think of Bassett maybe starting Game 6 for us?
Josh, thanks for the call. It was interesting. I was actually thinking about that when I saw Bassett he's kind of I don't think he ever got up tonight, right? He just walking around the bullpen stretching.
Yeah.
At one point. I honestly don't know, Kev. I mean, I would think the plan would be to go to Yasavich. You're going to go to Bieber in Game 7 if you need it. Yeah. I think the plan would be to go with Yasavich and again, do what you did tonight. If Chris is ready. If Yasavich can only give you 3 2/3 or whatever, then Chris is your guy.
Yeah, I think the sort of what you can kind of hang your hat on with Chris is he was throwing harder. The stuff looked better.
Yes.
Like he could stuff somebody to death in a little small window, which I would think if you're John and Petey, that's kind of nice to see, right? That, if you needed to bring him in to put the fire out, then he went over there and sat down, come back out for the next inning. He could do that because he's done it before. Like it's, you know what I mean? Because his stuff's went up a tick and, he might be able to give you 2 1/3, 2 2/3, that kind of thing. I'm with you.
And just imagine that coming out after Yasavich.
There it is. Absolutely.
After you've had the guy over Iron Mike, and then here comes the old funky, old swirly Chris Bassett with
changing
30
speeds.
different pitches and change speeds.
Yeah, elevating sinkers with higher velocity. All that stuff. So I would assume trade because of the routine, and he's their number 2. You're gonna live and die where you're 1 and 2 guys, right?
Yep. Yeah. Debbie in London, Ontario. You're on Blue Jays Talk.
I'm just going to say that what you guys been saying about Max and his antics, that's going to be the face of Blue Jays for a long time coming.
Nice.
Yeah, and also, too, I was listening to MLB baseball at the end of the game, and IKF was interviewed, and he said that sparked me up. He said that gave me the guts to go on when John Schneider did that on the mound and that kind of stuff. But it just sparked the team, so it did something for them. And also, too, is just like what you're saying about Bassett. I remember last year, he said something near the end of the season, if needed in the wild card game, I'd go in the bullpen for you guys. I would do anything for this team. And that's what he's doing. He's being a real good team player. And so, yeah, I can see him coming out of the bullpen and just giving it and that kind of stuff. But also, too, he also has another back problem. So maybe pitching, being a starting pitcher would be iffy in that. But, yeah, because I've seen him walk around on the bench there with the heating that belt on his back and that. So, yeah, I just wanted to hear what you guys said about that.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Debbie.
Great call.
Listen, I'm with you. I forgot about the back problem, actually, but I think that's the way you use Kevin Gosselin. I think that's the way you use Chris Bassett. I really do.
Now, the people that I've talked to that are pretty close to that, I think the back issues sort of went away. Like that's not an issue anymore. That's why they feel comfortable using him where they want to use him and how they want to use him because they think he's healthy enough. And I think he's said out loud when they have asked him that, because of the time off, him and Max both had an opportunity to get as healthy as they've been all year, which is a big deal. So, I don't think that's an issue, but I do like the velocity and the break and just the way he looked on the mound, the way he was taking the ball. He just, he had a little extra, I don't know, giddy up to his step, which is kind of nice to see when he's walking around the mound and taking on that role. It's not the easiest thing to do, Jeff, sort of when you've been passed over, when you've been a big part of the rotation, and they think they have somebody better, and you're just going out there to fill in the blank whenever they ask you, and you're good at it. I think that's just a sort of kudos to what Chris brings and what kind of person he is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Chris Bassett's all in what they're doing for sure. And I think at the back of his mind, he's thinking, you know what? Hey, I mean, we're a couple of wins away from the World Series. Now, I mean, I'm going to get a World Series ring whether or not I make 3 starts in the World Series or 3 relief appearances if we win.
Maybe I could get another deal as a reliever, too, if I'm good at it. Hey, there you go.
I mean, he does, John, as John has said, he does weird well. And as we've seen in the playoffs, weird seems to be the rule of thumb a lot of the time. I don't know how weird tonight was. 8-2, the Blue Jays have beaten the Seattle Mariners. The series is tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 is tomorrow night. Game 6, we now know there will be a Game 6, is Sunday at the Rogers Center. And tomorrow's start will be Kevin Gossman for the Blue Jays. And Bryce Miller making his second start of the series. It was Bryce Miller who started the first game for the Mariners. He was awfully good. That also means the Blue Jays have had a chance to see him. So, given the way they're swinging the bats right now, let's see what happens. They get a second look at Bryce Miller. So, 8-2, the final score tonight. Thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball. Canada's team is back in the playoffs, and your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers are proud to be a part of it. For over 40 years, Crown has protected vehicles from rust, keeping them strong and ready for the road, just like a great playoff baseball team. Crown Rust Control, proud sponsor of your Toronto Blue Jays radio broadcasts.
Introducing Hogwash. Each week we pick a different topic and explore the strangest, funniest, and most mind-blowing facts we can find. Chris Biggs, Jason Barr, and Jamie from the Biggs and Barr Show are joined by their friend Lou McDonald to dive into the deep end of nonsense. New episodes every Monday will be filled with poppycock, malarkey, and of course, absolute hogwash. Listen to Hogwash the podcast wherever you get your podcast.